following video is published a little bit out of order since we were at Big Bend months ago, but I couldn't get to finishing it until now. Hi, this is Tony from Rudy's Travels. Welcome back to the channel. We're sitting here in beautiful Big Bend National Park in Texas. A gorgeous spring day. And it's very quiet here in the campsite, so I thought it would be a good time for me to do a complete walkthrough of the hiker trailer and show everyone all the modifications and changes that I've made to the trailer since I purchased it last summer. I was going to do this later on and first post some videos as I was making the modifications, which I thought would be interesting. But I haven't really had a chance to put those final videos together. I do have the source content on my computer, and hopefully I'll get to that someday. But for now, I figured I would at least show what the trailer looks like after all the modification. I would say that we're about 98% dialed in to where we want it to be. There's always a couple of things we want to tweak. We learned a lot in the process of modifying the trailer, using it last summer on weekends, long weekends. Then we did a 3-week trip in the fall and really figured out what we needed to do. And we've even made a couple of changes on this trip for the past, we've been on the road 10 weeks now. So I'm going to do a complete walkthrough, and it might be interesting to take a look at a previous video that I posted, which is on the hiker trailer pickup, where I do a walkthrough of the trailer as purchased, as is, with no changes at all. And I made some predictions as to what modifications I was going to make, and it'll be interesting, at least for me especially, to go back and look at that and see what I actually followed through on, what I changed, what worked, what didn't, etc. But I think I'll take everyone through a complete walkthrough right now, and hopefully it'll be of some interest. Okay, so we're set up here at Big Bend, and right now I've got the 200 watt Goal Zero solar panel running, charging my Goal Zero 1500X battery, which is I'm using to run the entire trailer, 12 volts, as well as the inverter that's built in 110. I did not get the battery package from Hiker. I put my own Goal Zero in and it's worked pretty well so far. So I'm going to start with the outside. What I've done is I've added a couple of rotor pack mounts, and I've got 2 water containers and 2 gas containers right there. And so for the water containers, they come in handy here because there's no water at the water spigot at the site. So I have to walk about 50 yards to fill up the water to fill up our tank. I've also got a second solar panel running up here, plugged into the Goal Zero. So I've got the hiker trailer supplied solar panel, another solar panel that I had, and the Goal Zero that I just purchased. So I've got about 430 watts of power, which is pretty good, even though you really only get about 250 to 275 effective use. So I've got the fridge box, and I think I did a previous video with the fridge being mounted, which is right in here. And then we also keep other things like cutting board, and we keep some collapsible trays and things of that nature in here as well. Moving over here, looking at what we've got outside, I've got a Overland Vehicle Systems, OVS 270 awning, which we just put up for this trip, which we love. It's not deployed right now, but you can see that's what that is. We've also got a 11-pound propane tank mounted on this side, and I've got a hose coming out right over here, which is running down. I don't know if you're able to see that underneath, and you can't see what's going on under there, but it comes up into the cabin over here, snakes through, and is used to supply the catalytic heater that we have, which has really come in handy. We mounted that. I'll do the rest of the inside in a few minutes, but we mounted that on this panel over here, and it works fantastic because it's getting chilly at night, even here in the late spring. So that works there. And what I'll do, I also have underneath, I don't know if we can see that, there's a like a Pelican box that's open, and what I do when I'm done with the heater is I disconnect it from the tank and I run it under there and coil it up and close the box, and it sits up there pretty well. Next to the propane tank is this case, which we use. It's empty right now, but we use this for a butane barbecue grill, which I have somewhere else, which I need to clean out. But I'll post a picture of how that looks later on. And all I did here was just mount the case to the side of the trailer, put up a couple of chains, And then what we can do is we store the grill inside when we travel, and then we pop it open, lay it on here, and I actually will cook from here if we don't have a table handy. So that works out real well. On the side, I added a USB, both the power delivery USB-C and USB-A output port, and wired that inside so I can get charging outside over here. And this is the typical hiker Noco charger input over here, but I also added a port here which I can plug in for solar power, and I run that to the battery inside. So I have a pass-through for one of my solar connectors. I have to do a second one for the Gold Zero that we just purchased. Moving back here, we have the Galley that I built out, which I'm pretty happy with. Used 80/20 T-slot aluminum framing, built out this section under here, and put a sink in over here. And this is one of these RV sinks where this will fold down, and this a Dometic sink, and that folds down like that, so we have some more surface area. So that sits like that. And as far as the cabinetry goes, I put in a utensil drawer, which is fairly unorganized, but it always bounces around. I also have a custom cutting board that I had made and installed that, so that's pretty convenient to use. Slide that back in. And this drawer down here has some of the cooking equipment. We have our cast iron Dutch oven, some plates, pots and pans, things of that nature stored in here. The sink, there's a empty spot over here for the underneath part of the sink. And then under here we also keep some cast iron stuff as well. It's a big skillet down there. We're going to add a smaller skillet to it when we have a chance. And in this cabinet, I have, well, we keep the dog food and treats and all that over here because they're big containers. They fit pretty well. But as you can see, we've got, well, there's the water pump. There's the Gold Zero. It's charging up now. I'm getting 264 watts of input power, which is pretty good. It's a nice sunny day. And I've got all kinds of wiring and discombobulations going on over here. Back up to the middle shelf, we have an espresso maker, which we love. We use this every morning. We have a $35 microwave oven, which is really come in handy, but we only use that when we're on shore power. And we keep some food up here, and as you can see, the usual kind of setup back here, paper towels. We also have a screen that I built for the pass-through. So this just is Velcro down. This will flip up if we want to use it. We don't use the pass-through too often, but we like to keep the screen to keep the bugs out. And then there's a little latch up here to hold it. Here we go. And then if we need to use the pass-through, we just do that. So I'll put that back, and that stays in place. And then we keep spices up there in the spice rack, and we have an espresso pods in a little rack that I built up here. And here's our frother. I also built this little panel here, which we have the water pump switch over here and a couple of charging outlets as well. This is the display port for an electrical management system that I'll show. I guess I'll show it again down there. It's not plugged in, but this will give you any kind of reading of any faults. It tells you the voltage coming in from when you're on shore power, how many amps you're drawing, things of that nature. So that's pretty cool. And that is wired to the electronic management system. That's sitting back there with that red wire going through. So that'll clean up any power coming in from shore power. And as I said, I'll do a separate video on that. Top shelf, we just have some storage bins, things we use a lot, like salt and pepper and bowls and stuff like that, just stay up there like that. And then what we do when we travel is we have these hooks over here and here, and the corner there and there and there, and I have these nets that I hook on to keep everything kind of held in place. And we also put the stove, the Camp Chef stove, which we love. We put that in here and settle and secure it with the netting. So right now the stove is hooked up though. This is a little bit of a modification to the table that Hiker Trailer sells. I did not have them install it. I purchased it without the installation because I wanted to put it back off the back. So I custom built this bracket over here with these spinner knobs, and those will just come off easily when we need to take the table off. And this peg leg over here, I modified it to be supported by the trailer itself because our little puppy in the background who's sleeping If we had it sticking down to the floor, as you know, as most people would do, he'll wrap himself around it and pull it out and break the thing, have it fall on him, break his head open, who knows. So I modified it that it's clear underneath, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, there's no problem at all. We put the Dutch oven on top and it can bear the weight. That works out real well. Let's see what else we have back here. All right, on top, there's the one box on the side. We have another storage box on the right side and a 23-0 box, a little bit bigger in the middle. All on top of this rack that I customized. I took out the steel bars that Hiker Trailer provides and I used 80/20 T-slot. I'll do a video on that as well. The reason I did that was I was able to put some cross members in that'll slide around. You can see some of them down there, which provides support for the boxes. So that was a separate project as well. All right, let's see, coming right along. On the passenger side, we have ARB awning, which just comes straight out. That's the standard regular awning that we've had for a while. And we also add to it a screen room, and we connect the screen room up to the door, so it forms a pass-through annex, which really comes in handy. The second propane tank mounted here, and the water heater, which I put in. I didn't get it from Hiker Trailer. I got the same one that they would provide. The way I plumbed this was I added a washdown port over here on this side, teed that off of the water pump from the factory. The cold water coming out here. I run that into the water heater up here, and then the hot water comes out into this port here. And then I have plumbing inside that'll run that hot water into the sink over there. Well, it's not up. So I can get hot and cold running water in the sink, which we really like in the colder weather when you're washing up or washing dishes, to have the warm water. I also can pop this out and add another tube and hose that I have, and we use it for showers when we don't have showers in the campsite. So we use this tank here to run the stove. That's this hose over there, and to run the water heater. The other tank we use to run the inside heater, as well as we have a propane gas fire pit, which we like. So that's the plumbing setup over there, and the water setup and all that. Coming around, we've got the Starlink antenna. I put a mount on the crossbar right there. It might interfere with the solar panel a little bit, but that's the best spot I can have it without being interfered with by the awning. Running a cable right now, I have a long cable. I'll probably put a shorter one together just for this, but if I have to, I can mount that on the other mount that you get with the Starlink and run that out in case we're under a tree and I have to find this guy somewhere else. I put in a pass-through for the Starlink connector over here as such, so when we're done the trip, we pop this out and close that up, and it's waterproof and all that, and that seems to work pretty well. The other side of the fridge box we use for storage. There's a fire pit, and we put the solar panels in there, as well as some charcoal that really I haven't been using too much lately, things of that nature. Okay, take a look at the inside, what we've done inside. We have a 4-inch Millard trifold mattress, which we thought we might use in the trifold couch mode, and did it once or twice and realized it's too much of a pain to do, so we never use it in that mode. But the 4-inch is fine for us. There's our setup. The bed's made. Thank you, Sharon, since I clearly don't do that. Okay, so there's the heater, which I explained before, which really helped take the edge off on the cooler nights. We use these packing cubes for our clothing, and we just put them on the shelf. So those are mine on my side and Sharon's on the other side, which come in handy when we have to take that out to go in for laundry or something. We just grab these, and it keeps everything all nice and neat. And we put some nets up here. We have a lot of nets, as you'll see. We have a couple nets on each side, and we have dirty laundry under here in these bags. Keeps it out of the way, so it's on the top of our feet. Hooks on the top. Let's see if we can get the hook. We got a hook there and a hook over there, standard stuff. And on the doors, we have these shoe racks, which we use for holding our shoes, as well as other things coming in and out of the cabin. Let's see what else. We've got the standard cubby doors, which we're happy we got the doors for. I swapped around some of the connectors. I put the USB power delivery up on the top here, and I moved the switch. I changed the switch. I didn't like the switch under here, so I put a different switch in, and for the inside light, there we go. I put that over there. These are the switches for the outside lights, as everyone knows. This is the panel, which the reason it looks like it does, we were originally going to have a different kind of a heater. This was going to drop down on a hinge, and the heater was going to sit on that. It was a little buddy heater. But we tried it once and realized it was a bad idea. It just was not stable enough, and the little buddy heater, I think at 3,000 BTUs, was just too much for the inside of this cabin. So this is great. This is 3,000 on high mode. It has a low mode that'll do 1,500, which is all we need. We keep that there. We keep some things we don't need too often stored behind. Again, this is all our other clothing on each side. Looking inside again, we've got every square inch is being used. So we put some nets up here with hats and gloves, things that we want to grab pretty quickly. Those are all Rudy's things, sweaters, jackets, and everything. I have a jacket and some flannel pants for nighttime stored up there. I can easily grab it at night. And Sharon's got her thing over there. So I've got a net on this side as well, as you can see, for a sweatshirt. So it keeps everything neat and handy and out of the way. Let's see what else. You can see in the corner there, we've got a water bottle container, shelf, whatever. That's sitting over there, and I have one on my side as well. A couple of plastic little containers that stick on the side for putting things, keeping things neat. Try to keep things neat and organized as much as possible. And that's thanks to Sharon, obviously. And what we also do, let's see, I've got, to sit back here. I've got an iPad Pro mounted right there, so we watch TV with that. And right now the power cord is snaking from here all the way over to the power delivery port there, so that's charging. And we just keep it up there, and we have it on a mount. I pointed out with my foot, which we can adjust. And right now it's kind of good. It's out of the way. I was going to mount it in the center. Sharon suggested we put it on the side because she's not watching that much TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but when the hockey games are on, I'll watch those. So that works real well. We run that off the Starlink. And I also put, let's see if I can do a couple of shelves on top with pocket screws on top. Looks like that net is falling off on the left, but there's a couple of smaller nets on the bottom, and we keep things on the shelf. Bedtime, pills, whatever, glasses. Looks like our Kindle's up there. We have the charging ports with the reading lights from Hiker Trailer, so we can charge our phones overnight. Let's see. Yeah, there's mine up there, and the charging port at the top there. There's our pass-through, and we have the cubbies on top for extra clothing. We also there's a fire extinguisher, an Element fire extinguisher that we keep handy. And this is a weather station up here, so we can see what the temperature is inside the cabin, outside the cabin, and what time it is in the middle of the night. Let's see what else we have, what we've done in here. It's all, let's see, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. But it's a good setup. Rudy will sleep. We try to get him to sleep at our feet down there, but he usually makes his way up and crawls up by our heads by the end of the night. So we deal with it. All right, that's it for now. Hopefully that was of some help and some interest to some people. If anything was confusing or you have any further questions, just let me know, and I'll try to provide an update. Thanks for watching.